You're listening to the Rich State of Mind Show, the podcast made to make you the total package in the entrepreneurial world and give you what we call a rich state of mind. If you are here looking to learn about real estate investing, marketing, elevating your business, and developing your mindset to get to the next level, then you are at the right place. Stay tuned and be sure to join our community on richstateofmind.com. Now here's your host, Anthony Ritchie.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 63 where I'm talking to Asher Carr. Asher is a first-generation college graduate with a passion for serving people through the world of real estate and inspirational speaking. After graduating from Penn State in 2016, he started his career in financial operations before shifting to real estate operations in 2019. In his first year as a client engagement and operations coordinator, Asher brought in millions of dollars in closed sales volume for his team at Keller Williams Capital Properties, putting them at the top 1% Keller Williams brokerage in Washington, D.C. Through real estate, Asher learned the art of service before sales under Keller Williams and continues to transform the lives of clients by meeting and exceeding their needs. As a speaker, he leverages his faith and wisdom to spread optimism and passion for inspiring others to create his success stories through faith, family, and business. I like this episode with Asher because I got a first point of view from him and his perspective on what it takes for real estate deals to happen behind the scenes. I've never been able to talk about that in any of these episodes. So I think this is a fresh perspective. Those that may be even interested in a job like this, definitely listen to this episode. So please enjoy, and thank you for listening. Hey, Asher, thanks for taking the time this evening. This would be a great episode, talking to another young individual that's killing it. So if you could please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on the show. To all listeners, hey, everyone. My name is Asher. I'm actually from New Jersey, West Orange, New Jersey originally, but I live in the D.C., Maryland area right now. Full-time, I'm in real estate operations, and I help my team just make sure that, processes, systems, and models are all together. And I also do inside sales, so I bring in new business for our team as well. I've been doing that for a year and some change, and just really big outside of that, just really big on personal development and real estate, and just looking to grow every way I can. So, yeah.
Awesome. So, what got you into real estate operations?
Yeah. So originally, my initial background and professionally was in finance. So I was a financial analyst when I graduated from Penn State in 2016. I did that I did really contract work and then some full-time stuff in financial operations. And then I switched into real estate. I was doing real estate investing on the side back in New Jersey. And within my first 9 months, I was able to pick up a rental property in Poconos and kind of learned about that. My stepdad got me into real estate investing thing, and learning about that process and meeting with people and seeing homes. I was like, I would love to do this full time in some capacity. So, my life kind of gave me that opportunity. Got my license in Jersey, license in Maryland as well, and was able to connect with the team. That was really brand new team, and kind of just started growing from there. So,
the property in Poconos, was that a vacation or resort?
So it was actually a family friend's house. He just wanted to kind of get rid of it for some time because he didn't want to deal with the thing. It was just a normal house within one of those gated communities. But yeah, I was able to kind of do like owner finance deal with him, and I was able to find a family that was looking to do a lease to own type of thing. So
okay.
That was my first deal. We ended up kicking them out after 6 months. They stopped paying rent, but it was the experience with just actually seeing it happen after learning about it. It was probably one of the coolest things I've done.
So with the seller financing, and I kind of want to break that down a little bit so people understand the process. So seller financing or owner financing, the owner owned it outright. And how much of a down payment did he want you to give in order to kind of get into that?
So this one, there was no down payment. There's really nothing up front. It was just getting the paperwork together, just kind of making sure the numbers make sense. And with owner financing, I guess it was one of those lucky ones where there really wasn't a lot of money involved in regards to putting it together until the rent payment from the tenants. But he was just like, hey, look, I have this other house, and I still have a mortgage on this house, and I just want to be able to just keep the mortgage payment going. But can you help me out here? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I'll owner finance it for you. I'll watch over. I'll be your property manager essentially, and take care of the rent and stuff like that. And then every month, we'll make sure that your minimum payment is made, and then whatever's left, obviously it's all embedded in that rent, that monthly rent. The rest of it will go to me and make sure taxes are taken care of and all that. But yeah, I was able to kind of work that out again for a few months, and then some like stuff happened, so he ended up just taking the property back, and it was just it was clean for the most part. But owner financing is definitely one of those creative ways on real estate investing that a lot of people are attracted to when they're first getting into it, and it's like one tool in a whole toolbox of real estate investing that definitely people who are interested should definitely learn more of.
Yeah, I like so cool thing about finance, right? There's not just one way to do it. There's not just maybe a FHA or VA loan, and it's not just a conventional put 20-25% down. You have opportunities like seller financing where you can work something out with that with the seller, whether 5%, 10% down, 3.5% interest, do it for 30 years. And there's definitely a lot of different ways to be able to get your foot in the door. And you already walk into the deal with equity because the house is already paid off in a sense. Right. So it's actually pretty cool. Yeah. And so now, so you transition from that to real estate operations. What is that exactly? What do you do on a day-to-day with that?
Yeah, so I'm pretty much on the back end of a Keller Williams team. Just making sure, again, we have a team of agents, and there's me as an ops person and my marketing coordinator. We pretty much she handles the marketing for our events. She does the branding for like our signs and all that, and then social media and all that. And then for me, again, I'm big on the systems and models piece. So we have processes for our agents if they want to put a listing in to the MLS. They go through this special Google form I created for the team where they just give me that information, then I'll do it for them. So in a way, I'm the leverage piece to their real estate business. Because when you're growing a business, when you get to a certain point, you want to start hiring out, right? And my team leaders, that's what they did. They've been in business for over or really close to 10 years. And they got to a point, it's like, there's so much business going on. We need other people to handle these other parts of the business so we can make sure we can streamline everything. So they hired an admin team, which is me, working on the operations and our marketing person. Her name is Shaliza. Fantastic stuff that she does. And yeah, just making sure we make the agents' lives easier, just making sure that they get their signs out, they get their listings out, and we're also making sure they're tracking their numbers as well. So
from doing things behind the scenes when it comes to a realty business, what else have you learned working and from behind the scenes portion?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely learned a lot about real estate from just working on the back end. And I also have a dual role, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But from an operation standpoint, you really actually get to see what happens on MLS. Like, what do you have to input in the MLS? Like, there's certain disclosures you have to upload for those looking to buy the home, or things like making sure that you get the signs out. Like, we're actually working with the vendors to get the posted signs, and then photography, like I order the pictures and the videos for the marketing aspect of the listing. Stuff like that. You really get to see what it really takes for an agent to get a home sold. Because a lot of people, they see these agents, they're like, all right, cool, I'll just hire them. They'll take a few pictures, they'll put it on the internet, and then boom, the deal. But like, there's so much that goes into it. So like, when you're looking at that commission, like the 3%, 6%, really 6% is an average. Yeah. That 6% really goes a long way in making sure you get a quality opportunity to get the home sold, and you actually get quality deals or potential deals to come and help close it out. So it was really cool to kind of see how our agents do their deals throughout the year.
I have a question. So from your point of view, how did the real estate business change from your point of view during COVID and / post-COVID?
Yeah, so but before COVID, so I joined this team in December of 2019. So like, again, there's a whole new team, merger was going on, and I was fairly new to it. But everyone, for the most part, is very experienced. Everything when I was making calls for our team, initially people were just coming in, like I was just having people come in to meet with the agents to do their consults, and then everyone just meet in person and everything and all that. And then when COVID hit, there was a time like in all of April, that's when we had to really figure out as an ops team, how can we turn everything back into an efficient like pace where, even if we didn't meet with people in person, how can we actually, still get deals done and actually, make everything happen. So virtual in a virtual land, it's been a blessing for our team, at least, because we've been able to do a lot of we've been able to save a lot of time and actually cut down on a lot of unnecessary like meetings with potential leads that are looking to buy or sell. So instead of just meeting at a listing, for example, like, hey, I'm interested in listing. I'm like, all right, cool. When are you able to meet for a walkthrough? We actually do a Zoom consult first with them. We actually do a whole like listing presentation via Zoom. We actually show them the net sheet, which is pretty much a breakdown of how much they will actually make at the end of a transaction after all the expenses are taken care of at settlement. And based off those numbers, based on how they like our marketing plan, then we'll schedule that physical walkthrough with them, and then go from there. So it's definitely from a lead gen perspective, it's helped cut down on those who are actually looking to do something serious, and who are to those who are just like kind of just messing around. Because the other part of what I do is inside sales. We call it client engagement because that's just a mindset thing with there. But inside sales, I'm calling in internet leads or cold calling expired listings and all that. Just maybe like, hey, are you still looking to buy or still looking to sell? I set them up with our agents, and then the agents kind of take it from there. But yeah, virtually has been great. The staging, we virtually stage now. We don't even do physical staging. We have one agent that does it for certain price points, but like we've cut costs with staging. All you gotta do is just take pictures, and then we have a third party company. We send the pictures. We tell them what to put in the actual picture, and it looks phenomenal. And it's cut down from an ops perspective, like nearly half of what the what the team leaders were spending initially before COVID. So but a lot of efficiency in our cost department as well.
And that's probably the future now. I think COVID has shifted us to where doing things remotely through Zoom, like we're doing right now, is the norm. I don't really need to physically see you for everything. So this is like the virtual, phone calls are probably like the new email or new meetings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. Like my team leader, there are a couple, and the wife, she, like throughout the second half of 2020, she was doing settlements through Zoom. Like in settlement, because the title companies wouldn't even let more than like one or two people in. For if it's obviously the seller or buyer, you'll let them in, but no one else. So she was doing a lot of settlements through Zoom, and yeah, I barely meet the people I end up bringing in for the team, but they definitely had a great experience working with us. So it's been good.
What advice do you have for cold calls? And I'm saying this mostly for the wholesalers out there that want to start wholesaling. How do you deal with cold calls, and how do you kind of bring up your success rate throughout time?
Yeah, so cold calling. So I have a background in doing sales, and for sure, I actually did door-to-door sales in New Jersey for Verizon. So that was that's where I really started building the rhino skin, hearing no, every no leads to a yes type of thing. And so that's where I started doing that. When I was a financial advisor, my first job when I left college, and I was doing cold calls for the insurance company. And the mentality behind it is that I started learning when I started doing this position was, you're making a cold call on a hot topic. And the hot topic is real estate. Like everyone will, in some way, shape, or form, loves to talk about real estate, right? So when it comes to the internet leads I had that came across our websites through Google or whatever, like, hey, my name's Asher with Keller Williams. I was just giving you a call because you came across our website. This is literally my script, so you can use this if you want. But you came across our website recently and just want to know if you're still looking to buy or sell a home. And nine times out of 10 to be like, all right, yeah, I actually was. I'm not sure which website you're talking about, but yeah, I was. And then kind of go from there. You just got to just do it. It's, especially when you're starting real estate, either on the investment side or the retail side. The cold calling, very like debatable. It's huge. It's a huge like starting point for you to really start seeing success. Like again, I'm licensed, but because of my ops capacity, I'm not out there on the field as much. But I know for a fact, like people don't like doing those calls. Like agents to a certain when they get to a certain level, they don't like doing those calls. Like it's tough, and it takes a certain person and a certain amount of energy to actually get those calls on. I only do on average 2 hours a day for my team on calls, and that's it. That I was able to kind of pump out like a lot of appointments in my first year. But yeah, if you're going to do calls, just do it. I mean, have some sort of a script to help guide you on what you're trying to accomplish. But at the end of the day, the more reps you put in, the better you get at it, for sure.
And yeah, you were saying your script seamlessly, so it sounds like you said it a lot.
Yeah, I say it every single day. I say it in my sleep. Sometimes it's kind of scary. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and the thing with scripts, like at first, yes, everyone you should definitely have a script, but you definitely want to have them in the mindset of having a dialogue with the lead, or when you have that dialogue, it's like, hey, just really getting to know them, just really getting to know what the problem is, because at the end of the day, as an investor or as an agent, you really just want to come to the buyer or seller with some sort of a solution. And a lot of people out there, especially on the retail side, that are looking to buy, they don't necessarily have a vision. They don't necessarily have a plan in place or blueprint to actually be like, no, this is possible for me. I mean, there have been a handful of calls I've had where people really think that they can't get a home like at all for whatever reason, and then I end up connecting them with our agent, and then next month they're closing on a home. Right. And it's solely because they didn't understand, the lending side and stuff like that, and how an actual search works and all that. So when you're able to come from service, from mindset of service, and just be like, hey, look, I hear you. We could put this plan together. If it makes sense for you, great. If not, great. But just want to make sure that you actually kind of see what the possibilities are for you, and you can make magic happen.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing when it comes to another point is financing, right? So people they'll be like, oh man, well, my credit is garbage, so I probably shouldn't even try. And they don't know in particular, like maybe all the things that they need in order to qualify for a home. Or hey, all right, yeah, your credit is 20 points short, but these are the things you can do to build it back up, and then you're in there. At least they have some type of idea what they can do, and they would surprise themselves on what they'd be able to accomplish within the rest of, let's just say, the rest of 2021. And so I want to talk about your ebook, man. I like the title is very bold, so, and it's called Broke to Bold. So first of all, tell me about, where'd you come up with that title, Broke to Bold?
Yeah, so from Broke to Bold, it's pretty much it's a memoir that chronicles my transition into real estate. The last job I had in finance, they just let me go suddenly. I don't know where. I still have no explanation for it, but they just let me go, and I saw that as an opportunity to jump into real estate, because that was when I was dabbling into the real estate investing at that time. And the day they let me go was a year away from when I was planning to marry my fiance at the time. And so the whole purpose with the book is to really share my testimony into going into a field that's, like, for a lot of people, very high risk. They only know about the agent side with getting the license, and you got to just live off that. I was fortunate enough to come in on the ops side, so I have salary, but I also have that commission piece. And even with the salary, it was still like, if I don't do calls, like, I'm not going to eat type of thing. So I pretty much talk. It's really a book about perseverance. Going for a goal. There hasn't been a huge goal that I've never worked for harder in my life than to just marry my fiance, because at that point it was just like all or nothing for me. So I pretty much share all the successes and failures I have through it. It's definitely I forget sometimes. It's actually it's a COVID book story as well, because it actually happened in this last year. But I decided to do that. And the bold piece of it, it's actually an acronym called Business Objective Life by Design. the bold course is a Keller Williams pretty much a personal development course for really anyone in any business that they can get into. And they join the course and they learn about how to really scale their business at a high level and all that. When that course was a catalyst to everything that I'm doing right now. So, I never thought I would even write a book. I self-published it, so there was a learning curve with that over the last few months. But it was, I'm very happy with the result for my first major book, and just hoping that this could push people to go after whatever they want in life, regardless of what the circumstances are.
First question is, where can people find your book at?
Yeah, so on my main website, Asher I Carr, Carr. You can go there, but if you can Google it, the big three is Amazon, Target, and Barnes and Noble. But it is available globally, like on every country possible. So, but yeah, it's out there for a physical copy, and then there's an ebook as well.
Awesome. And then, so I'm going to ask you about a few chapters, but the first one I want to ask about is chapter 1, which is The End is Where We Begin, June 14, 2019. What was going on then?
Yeah, that was the day where everything just went downhill for me. I was just coming back from break from a workout, and my supervisor at the time, who I barely talked to for some time up until then, just called me down to HR and just told me that they were going to let me go. I don't know if there was some shifting, because the vice president in my department, he got let go a month before, but yeah, he just told like, hey, look, this isn't working, so we got to let you go. I'm like, okay. So initially, it was definitely an embarrassing moment, because one of the HR ladies, they had to actually go upstairs to my desk so I can clear it and actually make sure I was like not going to act up or whatever, I guess. And that she had to walk me out of the building. I've never had that experience, so it was like very embarrassing. But I realized this as my drive back home. I was like very happy. Like I felt very liberated, because it was that job. I was in tax. My previous position, I was in tax, like pretty much a glorified CPA. I was doing 1099 forms for that company at the time. So our team really dealt with all that. So it's very detail oriented. Really anyone could do it. And after my first tax season, which I like, that February, I just didn't go home like at all. Like, all right, I didn't even go to church. I was in the office every single day. I was like, I'm not doing this forever. Like, I can't do this forever. So I kind of saw that as an opportunity to be like, all right, this is my sign from God. Like my time is done here. Now I can go into real estate. I'm a very faith man, Christian guy. So, but yeah, I mean, I was like, I'm free. Like, it's awesome. But then I realized, crap, I have a fiance. I have all these bills and stuff. I need to figure something out. Like, I don't know what it is, but I just thought like that day, June 14th, we planned to have a wedding in the Dominican Republic a year after, or like, a year, for that next year. So I was like, I just thought it was coincidental. I'm like, all right, you know what, there's something here. And I'm just going to go by faith and just go from there. So, yeah. And then boom, book.
So, all right. The next chapter I want to ask about is traveling the journey together.
Yeah. So that one, part of the challenge with this book is being as vulnerable as possible, and like to be vulnerable, when to be vulnerable. And I'm very quiet. You know me, I'm very quiet about my private life, especially when it comes to my relationship, with my significant other. But that chapter just talks about how, regardless of what you're doing, whatever your goal is, whatever you're trying to do, you're gonna have sometimes your decisions are gonna impact, your loved ones or those very close to you. And
yes,
that's when I, in that chapter, I kind of just off the cuff decided to sign up for a real estate course near my house. And I didn't tell my fiance till like 3 days later, like 3 days into the course. It was a full month course, but it took me like a whole week to tell her. And like she didn't really understand like the other opportunities that come with real estate. She just knew about the your typical traditional agent thing, but like that wasn't my thing. Like, even though that happened to be a bonus for me, but I needed that license so I could provide more value to a team that really needed more ops help, if anything. And so like with me doing lockbox runs now, like that I had to do that today. Like having that access as an agent from an operations perspective, it makes life easier. So that was what I was trying to do. But yeah, but the whole thing about that is just, make sure you tell your significant other everything, like what your goal is, like what are your dreams, and 9 times out of 10 they'll support you and figure and help you out with how can you get there. And yeah, that was a big thing for me.
No, and that's also a big thing for me too. My fiance and I, we're planners to the T, man, and sometimes we have different ways about how we like to plan, but generally we like to, we do plan our day to day or week to week. And so she's really big on. I'm a visionary, so I always have it in my head.
Yep.
And and I do brief her daily on like, hey, these are things I'm doing, this is what I want to do. But she likes to see it all out in writing. So like over the last couple of days, I've written out our whole timeline from not today, but this month all the way out until next September of, hey, these are the things that we'll be doing from, let's just say from August to September, these are the things we'll be doing. September to December, these are the things we'll be doing. Because it allows us to be able to walk that journey together, right? Always be on the same page, and we are collectively being productive. It's not just one person, accomplishing their goals, both people accomplishing their goals, and then together we are accomplishing things. Right. And I'm really big on that, especially as a man, you the man leading the family, ensuring that plan is set so that y'all can move together, especially once you have kids, and then the kids obviously need to have a plan and a direction. Yeah. Or as my father would say, my father calls you as a parent the bow and the kids are the arrow, and to shoot them in the right direction.
I like that. I've actually heard of it like that. That's so nice. I like that.
Yeah, but you make a shirt out of it. Yeah, my father, he's really big on phrases like that. And so I want to talk about your holy clarity. What did you mean by that? I'm really intrigued by that title of that chapter.
Yeah, so that one, so this was a little toward the end of the real estate classes. Prior to everything happening, that was the 100th anniversary of our church organization.
Oh, wow.
That my fiance and I had, that she's been a part of her whole life, but then obviously I joined in a little after we met. Yeah, so it was just a whole convention going on that week, and going into that convention in that position, I think I used up all the money that they gave me when they let go of me to make it to that week. And I decided to do it because, again, my faith, I believe your faith is a huge aspect to being successful. Like faith is the foundation to your fortune. And for me to be able to get to the convention and to just kind of just get into, there's always multiple service, but that service in particular is a young people service. And to kind of just let everything go, to stop just thinking about everything that's going on back home, just think about the now and know what has God done for me at that point. At that point in time, just having just a sense of gratitude and just being like, what, I'm grateful that I'm here. I have clothes on my back, I have a roof over my head, and I'm able to do this, I'm able to do that, and it's not over, because I knew at that point it was only temporary, and for me to really just get through those challenges that would be coming down the road, I just had to be in a state of gratitude and just be like, what, this is happening for a reason. There's a purpose behind all this, and that I'm going to get through it. So, but yeah, that was another vulnerability of mine. I don't really talk about. Well, nowadays I do talk more about my faith, but it was just kind of just being super physically vulnerable in the moment, spiritually vulnerable, just giving glory to God and everything. So that was something that I felt like I had to share, because not a lot of people talk about it. So.
No, yeah, I think because there's a lot of sensitive topics in today's time, right? And so, religion, I think religion probably forever be a sensitive topic, and depending on who you're talking to, I think that's always going to be something, because now you're talking about somebody's beliefs, right. And you may have people trying to debunk your belief, and it's just like, hey, this is what I believe in, this is what gets me up in the morning in my day to day, and it works for me, I believe in it, and hey, leave me alone, I guess. But I think so. At the end of the day, whether you're religious or not, you still have some type of belief system. There's something that gets you up in every day, and so that's for you to determine if it's strong enough to make you want to be successful and stay on the path and not get derailed. Well, if you get derailed because of a mishap, you don't go completely off the path.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I'll go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, man.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it definitely, no, in this journey of success, it's not a straight line. There's always going to be ups. There's going to be downs. There's going to be 180s, and then you got to do all this stuff. But at the end of the day, I mean, for me to kind of just lean back on my faith and just kind of just look at the Bible and and just listen to whatever at that point in time. It's just a reinforcement to me. It's like, this is happening. I believe that nothing happens to people; it happens for us. Like, nothing happens to us; it happens for us. And to again lean back on my faith at that time, just be like, what, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to make this work. Like, faith without works is dead type of thing. And a lot of people say it, but they don't. But you could tell, like, people don't necessarily live it because they're kind of like, yeah, I have faith, and like, I don't. But when it actually comes to it, so like, no, that's also a thing too. Like, you really want to work. If you really want something, you really work to it, work toward it. And if you back it with faith, you'll be amazed on what you could do and what could happen at the end of the day.
Hard work does not go unrewarded, and that's for anybody. Even if you're evil, eventually your evil plans will work out because you work so hard towards it. So, so I'm definitely a big believer in that. I know some people, a little bit of talking about, faith. People say, be still and, stuff like that. And I think there's a time and place for that. But I definitely think that when it comes to our God-given talents, that's what they were given for us to do, to use them. And so I'm really big on that. I'm really interested about what is chapter 11 about license to be a millionaire? It makes me think of license to kill.
So with you saying that, I accomplished my goal with that. But the license to be a millionaire is just when I was in the process of actually getting the license for New Jersey. To me, when you have a real estate license, or just really any license or whatever field you're really into, that's a license to give you an opportunity to be a millionaire. Like if you really love it, if you really love to do it, right? To me, getting out a real estate license afforded me the opportunity to have the ability to make millions down the road. So for me to be able to just get that, I'm just like, what, like, this is great. Like, this is literally one tool I need to be one step closer to ultimately what I want to do. And I kind of share what some of those other goals are through the vehicle of real estate for me. But yeah, getting that, it's just having that mentality. Like, it's not just a piece of paper where you could literally buy or sell homes, like at a high level. Like, it's really a tool for you to get closer to what you truly want down the road. So, yeah.
So you were Keller Williams?
Yes.
Okay. So did you go through a Keller Williams course to get your real estate license, or did you study up and then take the state test?
Yeah, no. So I went to just a normal real estate school in my local area back in Jersey, and then after a full year, you need, New Jersey is 65 or 70 some hours of just the school course, and then you have to take a test, the school test, and then when you pass that, then you're registered to actually take the national test. So if your first time, you got to take national and your state specific tests at the same time. It's roughly 114 questions or 120. And then when you pass that, then you're good. Like, you could send it out to the commission as a salesperson, and then you could start doing business. But yeah, I was very specific with Keller Williams because I loved what they represented, like their values as a company, and it matched who I was as a person. So I was just looking at them solely in my whole journey in real estate.
Awesome. And I'm actually looking at trying to get mine as well. The plan is to get it by December. And so I usually ask people hey, how'd you get yours? Or, how much did it cost? I try to get mine in California. What has it been? 7 years now? I tried to get it 7 years ago. And I ended up failing it the first time. And then I never got back to getting it the second time because my job had changed and it required me to have, more hours. But looking back, I would have still got my license because I would have just did referrals because I could have just did referrals for like $1 million homes and been okay.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing too, and that's another thing why I named that chapter "License to be a Millionaire," because there's a lot of agents out there. They'll do actual production like for some time, then they get promoted within their companies, and then they're not out on the field as much, but then they can still do referrals, and that's like for some odd reason, from what I've learned from connecting with people within my company, is that it's a very untapped like opportunity apparently for the referral business. And on my Facebook, I've been more intentional with my social media, Facebook in particular. It's all you see on my feed is just posts for referrals, like from everyone in the company. It's crazy. It's like, hey, I need somebody here in Cancun, or I need somebody here in Fort Myers or Texas or whatever. And it's actually, and even then, there's is an untapped like market for a business. So what I ended up doing, since I have my license in New Jersey in referral status now, I actually do have a side hustle, like referral business for those within my family. So if someone back in Jersey is looking to move to California, I have contacts out there where I can connect them, and they'll pay me a 25 to 30% like referral fee after the deal closes. So, and you could do a few of those
real quick. So you say you give referrals to people out of your state?
Yeah, when you're a referral, you could do it wherever, and then like because the license is placed back in my hometown, like it's just housed there, but you could do referrals from literally anywhere, with a referral license.
So if I say, hey, if I know somebody that's traveling to California and I know a real estate agent over there, I can refer them over there and get a referral.
Yeah, you can get a referral fee. Yeah. And then obviously there's like a paperwork piece to it, to make sure that's like solidified and tracked.
Yeah.
You send that to that agent's brokerage. But yeah, like once the deal closes, you'll be on the DA or disbursement or authorization, where it tracks where the funds are going to go, and your name will be on it, and you'll get your fee on there. So when that happens, a few of my agents, one of our part-time agents, she just did a referral recently on a listing, and she just got paid on that. Like she literally didn't have to do anything. She's like, hey, my friend's looking to sell this home. Can you do it? Because I'm not licensed in the state. And her referral partner got it done, and she got paid. And, now you can do it again. So yeah, the referral business is very lucrative.
How much of a percentage do they get, or is it like a flat rate?
What do you mean? For
the referral commission? How much?
Yeah, so it's typically the agent who ends up doing the business. They'll get like, within our business at least, like the standard is 25% to the person who actually did the referral. So they'll get the 70 or whatever that math is. Yeah, whatever that math is. So to 70-80% of whatever closes, commission closes. So they'll get most of it, but to get 25-30% of like $1 million listing, or a buyer within a high luxury level, that's like thousands of dollars back into your pocket for just saying.
So they would get 25% of the 6% commission, is what you're saying?
Yes, typically, yeah.
There you go. Okay, yeah. Okay. I want to make sure I was clear and make sure I'm like, 25% of $1 million. Whoa.
No, it's that GCI that comes out of that, that 6%. Gotcha. So yeah, whatever that split is, toward the end, that'll be that.
I've noticed a few real estate agents. They have during COVID, because I don't know how the market is in your area, but people have been asking for $10 to $15, even $20,000 over asking price. Yeah. And so obviously that increases the closing costs. And so what I've noticed, some real estate agents, they will do a discount. Instead of taking their 4%, they'll say, hey, I'll take 3%. Have y'all done that the same up there?
So I work very closely with our listing specialist. He's literally the only, unless the other full-time agents. So we have full-time and part-time. Part-time just does buyers. Full-time, they do buyers and sellers. But my team leader, he does main listings. I haven't seen him do anything like that at all in this market. One listing I brought in Virginia, the lady, I was actually talking to her today. She's really awesome. She like updated this townhouse and everything. And we did our thing. We did our marketing plan, and in like 3 days, she got an offer of 30,000 over asking, and it was on the buyer side, it was a 1030. It was going to be a 1031 exchange for them. So like it was straight up just cash. and quick closing literally a month, within a month, but like no type of closing help. Like, you really have to really be successful as a buyer in this market. From what I'm seeing, what our agents are saying, you really need to be shopping a little below what you want, and then be prepared to just start going all out. And so if you're pre-approved for 500,000, you should be looking at like 450, and like starting at 450. And then when you really like something that you want, then you can start being like, yeah, I'm gonna go in all 500,000. I'm gonna go 50,000 over just so I can get this bid. And then it's also
That makes sense.
yeah, and it's also like not necessarily the price either. In this market is really the terms of how is what's winning a lot of these deals. Like, yeah, you're going to see those $100,000, like we've had a few 100,000 over asking this last few months, which is really insane. It's crazy. But the terms, no one's doing. They're waiving inspections. They're waiving appraisals. They're just they're making sure that they could close like within a month. Like it's really the terms is what's making these deals and resulting in these crazy prices that everyone's seeing right now.
Over 100 grand asking price, but then I'm gonna waive inspection. No way.
Yeah, exactly.
No
Yeah.
way.
So what we're also learning is that relationships has always been like an obvious thing, but your relationships it's key in this market. If you happen to know the buyer agent or listing agent on the other side, and you have some sort of an existing relationship, or you've been like over communicative and making sure like that they actually hear you, and like that you're actually very interested in making a deal happen, you're 9 times out of 10 you're going to make something happen for your client. And I know with the buyer side it's definitely more of a challenge in this market, but a lot. My other team leader, she's mainly a buyer specialist. She ratified 6 like 2 weeks ago for that will be closing in, well, it was like end of June, but like she has like 6 buyer deals that's going to be closing in the next few weeks, which is like at the time is unheard of, because again, buyers were it's a very tough market for them. But like if part of her success there is that she has these relationships, she's built that relationship with the other side, and they actually like to actually do a deal. So wherever investing or retail, the relationships are very key to really having successful deals.
Earlier you talked about 1031 exchange. Were these rental properties?
Now it is, yeah. It wasn't a rental property for for our seller client, because she actually lived there, and then she just happened to she worked in the government and stuff like that, and she did these updates because she wanted to get rid of it. But yeah, now it's a rental property. Now we found out today that they're renting it.
Yeah. So 1031 exchange, for those that don't know, is when you're able to not have to pay capital gains tax on when you sell a house. So if I sell a home and I have, my net profit after closing costs and everything like that is $100,000, then I could take that $100,000 and I have, I think it's about 60 days. I think it's about 60 days to find another property and use it as a down payment, or I could pay it in cash. Well, it has to be something equal to or above what you already had. Mm-hmm. Very similar. So usually that's how people scale. That's how people usually scale up to the next thing. And so the funny thing is that I've even had a couple of people that I've interviewed where they're like, hey, you got any deals? Or like after we get off the air, hey, you got any, anybody that needs a property at this type of, sixplex, because I'm doing a 1031 exchange. I really need another spot, to buy before I had to pay, $30,000 of taxes on this. And so
right.
I totally agree, man. Like, I've definitely had to make several calls, like just to make sure I'm good before I do my 1031. And then it's especially now, it's hard to find a deal. I usually go in asking for 20% discount. Yeah, I can't get that now.
Yeah,
I got to go in there with over asking price plus knowing I got to do repairs.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. Like I have been out of the loop on the investment side, at least for the last year. But I know like when you connect resources like Bigger Pockets, obviously anyone who's in a real estate investor, you have to come across Bigger Pockets. It took me 3 months to actually end up finding them, but there's so much rich information there that you could literally just learn in a night and then start implementing right away. to really just be successful, you just need to know as much as possible, and just be very like genuine in those in these deals. Like, it's one thing about finding deals, is a whole other thing about making deals. And that's why I said earlier, like, with a lot of these properties selling for over asking, a lot of these deals are getting done because of the relationships there, and because of the terms that's being met. Like, look, if you can meet these buyer for sellers terms, you can make it happen. And that's what's really winning this market. I believe so on the investor side too. If you have really solid terms, that's going to make sense for both parties, or all parties involved. Like, you can really still make things happen in this current market.
So I want to talk about chapter 18. It says the hot seat. What was that? It sounds spicy, man.
Hot seat. Yeah, that was one of my. I was originally in the manuscript. It was like the worst interview ever, or something like that. And I was interviewing in my current brokerage for multiple positions, and this was at one of their main offices. This guy that I interviewed with, Mr. Green, in the book, really awesome guy. He has an outstanding portfolio, and he was very intimidating from how I read his, how he scaled up his business. I knew it was going to be like a intimidating interview. So I got in there all confident. I'm like, hey, I read up on him. I had these questions and everything for when I get to that point in the interview, and we start talking, and like it was just a bust. Like, it was very clear that the position, it was like some operations manager position he was hiring. I wasn't qualified, because at that time I had done that one deal in the Poconos. I had just done a lot of cold calls for like the real estate investing side, and he was looking for someone like hit the ground running, because he had a development arm too. So I had like no knowledge of that. But I was like telling him, hey, look, I don't have all that stuff, but I have that energy, that desire to really just learn and just come in here and make sure you get what you want. I never got a call back, by the way, but it was just like it was just one of those things in an interview when you're looking to hire. Like, I understood from a manager standpoint, or if you're looking to just scale your business and bring other people in, you're not just hiring somebody, you're making an investment into somebody, right? And my resume, if you actually look at my resume, my time in finance, to go into these interviews saying, knowing that, look, I know it doesn't look pretty on paper, but like, I am actually very loyal, and I can actually get the work done, and make sure that you get the best return on your investment, and hiring leverage, essentially. So yeah, in that case, that chapter didn't really work out for me, so it's okay though.
No, it's trials and tribulations, and it seems like you're a very humble individual. Like, you've taken your experiences, whether a grain of salt or to heart, and then you make sure you grew from them. And you're not looking at it from the aspect of like, the world is against me, woe is me. You're looking at, hey man, stuff happens, and then I'm gonna make sure I rebound from it and be better from it.
Yep, absolutely.
What did you mean? So I'm switching over to like the bold side and the commission side of it, sure, of your book. And so what do you mean by pivot or panic?
Pivot or panic. So this was a little after the pandemic had settled in for everyone. And again, it was really a mindset thing. Like, when things happen, we all have the same thing to some degree. Same thing happened to us all, right? Like, if Jim Rohn, one of my favorite business philosophers, I grew up listening to. We were to set the sail. Life was like a sail. We're all on the sea, and we have all boats, and your life was a boat. The same wind is going to hit us all to some degree. It's going to affect us all. It's really how you set the sail that is going to make an impact to your final destination. So in regards to the pivot or panic line, is either you make a pivot in your life or in your business so you can actually continue to scale and continue to grow and to continue to hit your goals or such, or you just panic and just stay still and just not do anything about it. Because a lot of businesses, as we know, didn't survive, and maybe they did do their best to try to survive. But there's definitely some businesses out there, at least in real estate, that I know of, that people just straight up just gave up. Like, they didn't know what to do. Like, they didn't have the mentality of like, oh my gosh, like, I was like, all right, look, if I could do it like this, if I pivot like this, then I'll be able to make it. They just kind of took everything at face value and just gave in, right? So when it comes to just life in general, are you going when something just happens and shifts? Are you going to shift with it and make some greatness out of it, or are you just going to just stand still and just kind of just give in and just give up? Because I know that everyone listening on this call, you have that high level of potential to be phenomenal, to be great, to be outstanding. And it doesn't matter what's happening in your life. Like, there's a reason for it, and you have to find a way to leverage that to be able to get to that next level.
I think COVID showed everybody what they were really made of as far as when it comes to business. Obviously, there was a bunch of other ways that people were challenged, but in regards to the entrepreneurs out there, the ones trying to start a business, maintain, or they're just your independent workers like real estate agents, right? I think it really showed you, like, all right, am I the real deal, or do I need to kind of reassess? And it made people also get very creative. And so my kudos is to any other landlords out there, in particular real estate agents, any other private contractors that was able to assess the situation. Okay, COVID happened. People are not touching each other anymore. They're not even physically around each other anymore. Lumber went up. Houses went up weird, but nobody's paying rent. Everybody's, losing their job or whatever. Okay, how can I still be successful? And I think a lot of us are better from it. And I think a lot of us that did pivot in the right direction will be better off. So, like, I look at, like, me as a landlord, man, I look at this next fall. So I don't like fall. I like April through September as a landlord, because that's when mostly people move, right? That's when most people get income tax too. So so they can have their security deposit plus first month's rent.
Right.
I don't like the fall, because it's like no-go. Fall and winter is like no-go zone for people to move in, right? It gets cold. Maybe depending on your piping, maybe the pipes freeze. Stuff can happen, right?
Right.
And so, but I'm not as worried about it this year as I was last year, because it's not COVID. It's gonna be like, hey, it's a piece of cake. If I could get through COVID during the winter and fall, then I can get through, non-COVID winter and fall.
Exactly.
So I'm definitely down. Not, like I said, not looking forward to it, but I'm at the same time, I'm not, I'm ready for it.
Absolutely.
And so I want to talk about the final thing. I want to talk about your book, man, Living the Dream and Beyond the Dream. What is that?
Living the Dream and Beyond it. What part of the book is? I've seen this book so many times, and then I forget.
Chapter 50, 55 and 56.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. So it's been a crazy tour here. Living the Dream, Beyond the Dream. So that's just I'll say the end. Living the dream. My dream at the time, my version of success at the time is to marry my wife, or my fiance now wife. So spoiler alert, this is why this ran. But I pretty much just talk about that day, and then Beyond the Dream is pretty much what's next. If being able to just make that happen. And at one point I literally had nearly nothing in the bank between my checking account and my wallet. I literally had no type of money. And then being able to, even though it was a smaller scale wedding, because of COVID, it was still thousands of dollars that I didn't have before. And so I feel like throughout this whole journey for me, if I was able to make that happen, what else can I do? What else what other big goal can I have? Can I look into in my little gratitude book or whatever, and be like, you know what, I'm going to go after this year. I'm going to make this happen. I didn't realize how much drive and just energy I had to make this thing happen. And with the other chapters, if you pick up the book, you'll see what I had to do to make this wedding happen. And in some ways very unhealthy, and in some ways just crazy. But it's just what can I do? So again, I mean, it's definitely a message to everyone. If you really have that drive to accomplish something, to start your own business, or to marry your fiance, or whatever the case is, really push yourself, get comfortable getting uncomfortable within reason, and just start planning out what do I have to do today to get to my portion tomorrow. And yeah, man, I'm always trying to just push myself every day to just live a life by design, just make things happen. Like now my priority, like she's literally my why. Like people can push you. I can say whatever words in right now to help push you to get started, but your why is what's going to pull you to get to the end goal of whatever success is for you. So, but yeah, that's where that stands.
And would you consider that so that was your rich state of mind?
Yeah, that was my rich state of mind.
Thanks for so first of all, man, I appreciate your transparency. Because like you said that, you're private. I think as I've been doing this podcast for the last year, I've been more open about my beliefs and things that I do. So I can relate because generally a lot of people don't, over the last it's been about 4 years now. Over the last 4 years, I was going through a divorce and, custody battle and stuff like that. So I've been private with a lot of stuff going on in my life, but fleshing things out and being able to talk to, all my guests, man, has been pretty good. It's a good process. I think as we all talk to each other, we kind of like flesh ideas and trials and tribulations out. And we're like, oh man, you know what? I'm better from it. It was either a good experience or maybe a bad one, but I was able to grow from it. And, looking back, glad I went through it. Wouldn't go through it again if I didn't, but
one time's enough.
yeah, one time is enough. And I learned my lesson. Yeah. So I appreciate you, Asher, man. I know we were supposed to link up about 2 weeks ago, but I ended up having my crazy accident, man. My car caught on fire. If anybody didn't know, car exploded on the freeway. So I tried to run until I thought I had another good 6 years out of that car, but come to find out there was a recall on it, man, the fuel. So
wow.
See if Dodge can give me a rebate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm blessed that I'm still alive and able to talk to you 2 weeks later
absolutely
on this podcast, man.
Yeah, man.
And thanks for asking too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I've not the car fire piece, but I've definitely been in a position before where you're on the road and car's not working. Like I've lost flat tires just out of nowhere. So I get that. But yeah. I mean, one thing before we get off, one thing, if anything, I would like to share. I guess my second part for Rich Mind. Be careful the person you become and the pursuit of what you want. And that's pretty much like the whole message of the book. That's something my wealthy dad, my stepdad, I call him my wealthy dad because I explain that in the book, but my wealthy dad because he taught me a lot of things about wealth. And then I have my biological dad, I call him healthy dad because he's huge on health, big positive thing in my life. But be careful the person that you become in the pursuit of what you want. You're not going to be the same person you are today when you hit the $1 million shares or when you close X amount of transactions or whatever. Like it takes a certain mindset, it takes a certain transformation in your life, in every aspect of your life to get to that pinnacle. So definitely just be aware of what happens when you hit certain levels, hit certain checkpoints in your journey to whatever success means to you. And, just really appreciate that journey, really have fun with that journey and whoever you're doing it with. And, at the end of the day, you could freaking do it. So, yeah. So I'm done.
I like the fact that I like your rich dad, poor dad reference.
Yep, that's exactly where it came from, man. Yep.
Yeah, I'm picking on what you're putting down, man. License to be a millionaire, license to kill, and then rich dad, poor dad reference, man. So yeah, great minds think alike, bro. It's been a pleasure, Asher. Thank you, man, and definitely I want to keep in touch because I'm very interested about to learn more about the real estate operation side behind the scenes. I like to be able to. I don't expect to be a master in everything, but I do like to have an understanding about what everybody's roles are.
Absolutely. Yeah. Leverage is key. And we could probably have a whole nother episode about it, but 3 things in real estate that they teach us, leads, listings, and leverage. And when you get to the point of your business where you just need more people to make things run, leverage is key. And I could definitely talk about that as well, because I live it, and it's a huge impact when done right. So. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, you have a good night, bro. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thank you for sticking with us from the start of the episode. Please share our show with friends and family, visit our YouTube channel, and view more of our content on richstateofmind.com. See you next week on the Rich State of Mind Show.